In this class, I'll be going over some of the basics for ACI Sketch, as well as some of the options and preferred settings that you'll find to be most efficient. The first thing we recommend is to click onto View, Toolbar Options, and check out your preferences there. The software will default to Auto, which is a smaller icon size, but you may find that setting it to large buttons makes it easier to interact with the toolbar. Using these checkboxes below, you can also remove or hide certain functions or toolbar icons that are just causing clutter or confusion. Another concept to get comfortable with ACI Sketch is that it is a draw-first program. Unlike other sketchers where you tell it you're going to do a GLA or a second floor or something like that, with ACI Sketch, you trace out or draw your areas first, and upon completion of the area, you're prompted with a question. What was that? First floor, second floor, garage, etc. ACI Sketch is an incredibly powerful tool in the respect that there's two major modes of interacting with your sketch. If you can get comfortable switching between the pointer tool and the wall tool, you'll be cranking out sketches in no time. In the upper left-hand corner, you can toggle between pointer mode and wall mode. Pointer mode allows you to stretch, click, copy, delete, manipulate the sketch. It's a way of grabbing corners and dragging them to be the appropriate dimension. It's a way of highlighting an item to rotate it. It's a way of multiply selecting items by clicking and dragging. The manipulate mode or pointer mode allows you to make changes after the fact without having to redraw an area, and that is an incredibly powerful tool. You can grab a midpoint, for example, and stretch it out to be an arc. Additionally, you can highlight an item, and using the familiar Windows commands for copy and paste, you could hit Control-C on your keyboard to copy and Control-V as in Victor to paste. While still in that manipulate mode, pointer mode, you can now drag that duplicate area. Using your scroll mouse, you can zoom in and out. And then using your right click, we can interact with this duplicate area and make it a second floor, for example. To do that, I will right click, choose the area properties here, and say, no, you are a second floor, and click OK. All within that pointer tool, the manipulate tool. So as a quick review, what we did was highlighted an area in the pointer mode, pressed Control-C to copy it, and pressed Control-V as in Victor to paste it. If I wanted to quickly delete this area while in pointer mode, it's as simple as clicking on it, observing that it's highlighted, and hitting the delete key on my keyboard. So that's the first concept to become comfortable with, is that ACI Sketch allows you full control over the sketch areas that exist on screen when you're in the pointer mode. Clicking to wall mode is how you begin drawing. Drawing in ACI Sketch can be done via clicking in the mouse or keyboard commands such as 12 on the number pad and then the right arrow key. It doesn't matter, and you can switch in between them in the middle of a sketch. ACI Sketch also does not require you to complete or close an area before starting a new one. So you could draw half of a floor plan and then skip to another page, draw the second floor or the garage, and then later on go back to the first page and resume drawing your area. To draw with the mouse, when you're in the wall tool in the upper left corner, you could either left click to place the pencil and then move the mouse, left click again to drop the point, and draw that way, confirming your areas with a series of clicks and movements. If you realize you've made a mistake or just want to go back a few steps, just hit the delete key a couple times, and as you hit delete, it reverses those steps. To redo, it's insert. So by hitting insert and delete, you can trace or retrace the last few steps you had drawn. If I were to delete this all the way out, I can resume drawing using the keyboard in the same principle. Place your mouse cursor where you'd like to begin the wall, left click once to drop the pencil point and begin your drawing, and now I'll use the keypad on my keyboard Let's draw a 15-foot wall to the right. I'm going to type 15, and in the lower left corner you'll see that it's previewing 15 feet. Now I hit the right key on my keyboard, and it shoots that wall 15 feet to the right. Enter will lock it in. Let's do a 5-foot wall up. So I'm going to type the number 5, hit the up arrow, enter to lock it in. Let's go 14 right, enter, 5 down, enter, 22 right, enter, 10 down, enter. You see where I'm going with this, right? If you find yourself inadvertently drawing crazy lines in places you didn't intend, and you find yourself stuck, remember it's as easy as hitting delete, delete, delete to back up through those changes. Insert is redo, delete is undo. One of the most common questions we get is, how do I make an area open to below or subtract from the GLA? That is best accomplished using the manipulate or pointer method. For example, let's go to the pointer tool and make a copy of this first floor as a second floor. I'm going to highlight it, press Ctrl C, press Ctrl V, drag that to be appropriately placed on screen, right click and go to my area properties, say that it's a second floor, click OK. But now how do I get that donut hole cut out of it, or that atrium, that open to below area? It's as simple as going back up to the wall tool to toggle drawing mode. Let's draw the area. Remember, we are a draw first application. Now, when I'm presented with the choices of what type of area that was, I'm going to choose open to below. You'll see that the area multiplier for open to below is a negative 1.0. That adds a negative to the GLA. So I'll click OK, and there you can see I've got 285 square feet cut out of my GLA because that second floor has an atrium. If I click back to my pointer tool in the upper left, I can now bow that out to be appropriately placed per the floor plan. Once I've got my open to below, if I wanted to change that name to atrium, while I'm in pointer mode in the upper left, I will left click once on that phrase open to below on the label and double click. Now you see the cursor blinking, and I can hit backspace and type the word atrium and hit enter. So now I've changed the open to below label to say atrium, but it's still doing the math appropriately and punching out a hole in my GLA so that it is correctly mathing out. Another powerful tool in the ACI Sketch repertoire is our area bisection tool, or the ability to carve off an area and create a new property. I had mentioned previously that in our Draw First application, you can trace the entire gross building area of a floor plan. Now, if this upper right corner was actually an attached garage, I don't have to retrace a new garage area over top of it. I can click into my wall tool and simply left click and draw out that attached garage. You'll see that I drew two walls, and now I've got another subsection of that first floor, that GLA. To change it to garage, I go back to my pointer tool, my manipulate mode, right click on that area, and then go to the properties and say, nope, that was an attached one-car garage. Clicking OK, and I've got my math appropriately. So that area bisection option is just as simple as drawing a line that connects with previously drawn lines and then right-clicking to adjust the properties. As you can see here, it's getting a little crowded, so while I'm still in my pointer mode, I'm going to left-click to select a couple of these duplicate dimensions and delete them using my delete key, just to clean it up the sketch a little bit. Another neat trick you can do with dimensions while you're in this pointer mode is multiply select them. You saw that I just selected them individually and deleted them, but what you could also do is hold Control on your keyboard and left click while holding Control to select multiple items at once. Another neat trick you could do is using the V or H for vertical or horizontal, you can change the alignment of all of the selected items. H makes them horizontal, V aligns them vertically. So to review, that was using the Control key on my keyboard, hold that down, and left click on various items to multiply select them. Another neat trick you can do while you've got them selected is hit the plus or minus keys on the keyboard. You'll see that as I hit the plus key, that font increases and the minus sign decreases them. As with all of the functions and drawings that you're composing, the undo button up at the top is priceless. If you end up making a change you didn't mean to, say for example I was trying to highlight this area so I could adjust the font to be larger, but I accidentally highlighted the whole floor plan and hit the delete key, no problem. My friend Undo can back that change right out. Another great feature of ACI Sketch is our stamp mode for symbols and labels. While you always have the option to place a symbol manually by left-clicking or clicking and dragging, stamp mode allows you to easily place multiple copies of the same symbol or text label at the same time. To do that, just right-click on the symbol or the label and choose Stamp Mode. This turns your mouse cursor into a stamper, and then every click of the left mouse button will drop an appropriately placed floor plan image. To disable that or end the sketch mode, right-click. That turns off Stamp Mode. So once again, right-click, choose Stamp Mode, and begin left-clicking, and then right-click again to shake it off and stop Stamp Mode. This works the same with text labels such as bedroom. Then right-click to disable it. Because I'm still in my pointer mode, I can click to drag these appropriately placed. I can hit delete while they're selected to get rid of them. I can highlight a series of them by clicking and dragging and hitting delete. And I can also adjust the orientation. We'll notice that up top here, this door icon is upside down. Because I'm in pointer mode, all I have to do is left click on it, grab the green dot, and rotate it around. While you're in the select mode and have a symbol selected, you'll also see the smaller dots that allow you to stretch and drag the scale and the overall size and appearance of the icon. So even if you don't see the particular shape of a certain door or feature that you're trying to add as a symbol, you may be able to stretch one to be appropriately placed for your floor plan. Another concept to become comfortable with in ACI Sketch is the two methods for making bay windows or angles. You can use the rise and run method, or you can directly enter the degree of angle you wish the wall to be at. Let's go to my pointer tool and delete this second floor just to clear up some real estate so we can draw on screen. I'm going to highlight it, hit the delete key on my keyboard, click and drag a box to select the remainders, hit the delete key, and I've got a clean slate. So the rise and run method is usually the most popular. That's if you know the depth and the length, or the depth and the breadth of the measurement for that bay window. Let's click into the wall mode and I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to left click to lay my pencil down. I'm going to draw a 10-foot wall to the right. So I type 10, and in the lower left you can see it's been previewed. I'm going to hit the right arrow key on my keyboard and then hit enter to lock it in. Now, if I'm going to draw a bay window on the north side of this house, the rise and run method is as simple as typing the rise 5 feet over and then the run 5 feet up and hit enter. I might go 6 feet to the right, hit enter, and to finish out that bay window, I'll need to go 5 over and 5 down. Doesn't matter which order I do it in. I could type 5 down, and before I hit enter, I will hit 5 over. Now I hit enter and lock it in. So that's the rise and run method. 5 up, 5 over, enter. That's an easy way to remember that. Now I'll hit delete to back out of those changes, and I'll show you the alternate method of determining exactly the degree at which you want ACI Sketch to draw that wall. To do that, you'll be using the L key and the R key on your keyboard because you're going to be bearing left or bearing right at a certain degree. To do that, it's a matter of inputting the dimension, the direction, and the degree, the 3 Ds, dimension, direction, degree. For example, if I was going to do a 10-foot wall that bears left 45 degrees, I'm going to type 10, and in the lower left you can see that it's previewing the 10 feet. Now to shoot that wall 45 degrees to the left, I'm going to hit the L key on my keyboard, and you'll see in the lower left it's previewing left 90 degrees. Here, though, I will type 4-5 to say, that is a 10-foot wall bearing left at 45 degrees. I hit enter to lock it in, and sure enough, I've got my wall. Now, if I wanted to straighten that out and head right for 8 feet, I'm now headed in a bearing in a direction of 45 degrees to the northeast there. So I have to bear right by 45 degrees to draw a quote-unquote straight wall. So if this is an 8-foot wall, I'm going to type 8, R on my keyboard to bear right, then 4-5 to say it is a wall going 45 degrees to the right of the direction I'm headed now. If I hit enter, I've got my flat angle there. To bring this one home, it's just hitting 10 on the keyboard, and I'm going to be bearing right, so I hit R, 4-5 to make my angle, and enter, and there it is. So let me hit delete a couple times to back out of that, and I'll show you some other alternatives. I used 45 as an example because it's a common angle, but it could be any angle. So if I wanted a 33-degree wall that bore left, I would type 10 for the length of that wall, L to bear left, 3-3 to say that's a 33-degree wall. When I hit enter, now I've got a shallower or more acute angle. So remember that, dimension, direction, and degree. It's a matter of choosing the length of the wall, such as 10, hitting L or R to bear left or bear right from the direction you're heading, and then any number related to the degree of the angle of separation between the plane that you're drawing on. This brings us to the final demonstration of this ACI Sketch, which is probably the neatest tool in our repertoire. ACI Sketch has a photometrics tool that far surpasses any other sketchers. It's easy to use, and it allows you to get a head start on your drawing by inserting a scanned image or some other source of an image, tracing over it, and then removing it when you're done so you can clean up your sketch. To do that, I'm going to hit the New button in the upper left to create a new page. This would appear on page 2 if I imported. And I'm going to access the photometrics by right-clicking and choosing Photometrics, Add Image. Now I browse to where that photo is, and let's just say I have a scanned floor plan here that I found on a paper somewhere, or I might have downloaded from the internet. I happen to know that this front-facing garage wall is 26 feet, So to set my scale, I'm just going to click and drag a line and then say that that was a 26-foot wall. When I click OK, it will zoom and set the scale appropriately, so now I can begin to trace. In the upper left-hand corner, I am on wall mode, so I'm just going to draw a quick sketch over top of this existing image. You'll notice, and especially on the wall that I'm currently at, this scan was not created evenly. It's skewed a little to the right, so that won't exactly line up, but that's okay because, as you know from earlier on in the training, ACI Sketch allows you to easily manipulate the floor plan after the fact, so I can make these small 1 foot or half foot adjustments fairly easily and quickly. I'm connecting the area, I'm choosing first floor and clicking OK. Now though, I want to bisect that garage. So what I'm going to do here is continue drawing. I'm left clicking to place my points. And I've got this section called first floor that I will right click, choose area properties, and change it to a 2-car attached garage. Now what I might do is go to my wall tool and choose interior and start tracing out some interior walls, whether I wanted them to remain part of the actual sketch or just as a cosmetic reminder while I'm composing the floor plan of what rooms were where. This allows you to put non-calculated walls in, and as you can see, I'm just clicking and dragging to drag these cosmetic features, the interior wall tool. As with all things, I can manipulate them after the fact, so if they don't exactly line up, it's no big deal at all. What I'm going to do now is place some door icons. I might go to stamp mode with my right click, stamp mode, and then start left clicking to place them. It's okay if they're upside down or sideways because, as you know, we can right click to shake this off, highlight them, and begin rotating them appropriately. Even changing the size and scale if that's what's most appropriate. I'm going to go to labels now and start adding some bedroom labels, also using stamp mode. Right click stamp mode. Let's left click to drop some of these bedroom icons. Right click to get rid of bedroom mode, or I should say stamp mode, and I'm no longer stamping the bedroom. But now I've got a very cluttered and not exactly accurate floor plan because the photometrics image and my sketch, are blended together. All I have to do now is right click, choose photometrics, and remove image. By removing image, it sweeps the rug. I can't see the previous sketch that I traced over, and I've got my pure floor plan available for manipulation. So now I can highlight some of these walls that I find to be clutter and just hit delete and get rid of them. I can continue manipulating, rotating, dragging. I can highlight using the control key to multiply select certain items and then hit delete to get rid of them all at once. I can use my control click to select many dimensions at once and hit the plus key on my keyboard to increase the font size. Remember, there's a lot you can do in this manipulate tool to adjust it. I can even click a wall and drag it up or down to match the appropriately measured dimension. You'll see that as I stretch this, the first floor area, the GLA measurement in the center, adjusts accordingly as well.